morning to you. It must be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time somewhere out there because it's time for another edition of Hardison's Tips. I'm your host, Brandon Hardison. Glad to be with you on this beautiful Monday, the 19th of January. We do the tips for all of our brothers and sisters in the sales vertical, whether your major account, key account, up and down the street, in home sales, regular retail, and automotive. So let's get at it so you can get to work. Today, we're going to be looking at our brothers and sisters that are in the traditional retail space. If you're just getting in because of the pandemic, or you're a manager out there, supervisor that is having people come in, and maybe you have been away from the training element for a while, let's just look at that for this week. In other words, introduction to retail sales. You see, sales many times seems to be like a tough job for a number of people. However, a cakewalk for a few. But then you ever imagine, or in this way, try to understand as to why it's been simple for those experts or those professionals. How can you sell well and effectively in a competitive market? Is it really easy? Well, I do not call it easy if you do use the right sales tricks. And yes, we're talking about selling products and services. And here is this guy saying tricks. Yes, it's sales tricks that should get right if you want to really sell. And of course, selling to individuals is really not easy. So let's use some of the things that maybe you've heard about, forgot about over the years on how to sell better. To improve retail sales, the word retail refers to selling goods in small quantities. The word is derived from the old French word "trailer," which means to divide, to pare, to cut off. Realty was the first understood and a noun of meaning that is selling in small quantities. So when we think of retail, way back, people looked at small quantities, whether they started from a book as the West was growing and they used the Sears catalog, or maybe there was a store in or around the community. They did not sell in bulk, they sold in small quantities to the townspeople that were near them. Or in the catalog, they didn't order bunches, small quantities. Okay, so let's make up that simple word, retail sales, as selling of goods and products, actually even service in small quantities. It is nothing but selling in small quantities. So if retails are in small quantities, what are the challenges you might come across? Well, let's look at some. Multiple channels may be something. Employee effectiveness, and the key thing, loyalty. Naturally, there's competition. That's what makes America so great. Consumer loyalty. Yes, they stick with you. Increase customer profiles and customer acquisitions. And the list of challenges does not end here, as problems and issues never end. What needs to be in such solutional form is to look for so many solutions as possible so we can increase sales. So here's maybe a couple of things we can end up with the day with. Presenting yourself the The very first rule of sales and service is being presentable. That is where you enter work. Or when you're going to meet a client, make sure you follow your company's dress code and your company's formal dress codes if they do have it. Following your dress code and being formally dressed is telling your customers that you respect them and you value their needs and requirements. Hence, it is extremely important to be dressed appropriately before you're going to see or visit a customer, or vice versa, they're coming to your store. Again, for retail sales representatives, before they can do any type of presentation, it's very important for he or she, the very face of the company or the company visiting the customer, to be face of the company, prepared and ready. By not taking it lightly, this is the face. Hence, we must make sure we are presentable with our customers. Let me ask, how many times have you, as a manager or supervisor, have your people come to work not prepared to represent what you're trying to sell? Or how many times do you, as a supervisor, manager, have your people out on the street representing your name and they're not prepared? Value starts with you, why you are representing the customer. If we can just get consistency on that straight each and every time, you'll have a better sales operation. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, with another Hardison's tip on this beautiful Monday, the 19th of July. We're getting through the month. So, for those folks that are on a commission, how are we doing? We should be at par, or many of us are probably already working the bonus mode. So, with that said, you go out there and you make it a champion day.